Hello everyone, my name is Bryan Choo. I'm the pre-sales engineer from Exclusive Networks Malaysia, and we are the sole distributors of Mimecast in Malaysia here. And today I just want to go through with you what is Mimecast and the platform that they are offering, which is called the Human Risk Management Platform. Okay, so in Mimecast, our goal is to deliver three pillars of value to our customers. We actually measure their human cyber risk, and then we also empower their peoples, their employees, as well as protect what is metal before it becomes a breach. So we are actually collecting and inject the data from various sources into Mimecast HRM, the Human Risk Management platform, so that it can give us a clearer picture of how each employee is performing in terms of risk exposure. Instead of just relying on awareness training result, which is many people they do just to meet the compliance, okay? We want to look into a real human, a real user behavior. Yep. So in this way, right, the organization gets a more complete and also accurate view of the actual risk employees that they are facing. Yep. So in my case, we focus on different risk areas related to employees. For example, we can track the signal from email activity, while tools like Incydr, Mimecast Incydr, shows how employees handle data internally. That's the main focus of today's section as well. So all this data, right, in your organization is concerned about. We are also want to see that how it aligns with your governance policy and whether is it complies with the internal rules as well. So on top of that, right, you can run a e-discovery workflow using this data. But Mimecast also provide email archiving for you as well. So which not only just support e-discovery, but also we use the modern tech like sentiment analysis to give you a deeper insight into your data. So access isn't just limited to your email. We also cover unstructured data as well. So this includes chats, all the messages from platforms like Microsoft Teams, Slack, or Google Chat, any others communication platform that you are using in your organization. We put all this together to give you a full view of human risk in your organization. Okay. So under human risk management platform, yeah, we actually so-called we the platform, right? We also so-called the platform as a human risk command center. Okay, this is our product's name. Even if your customer is not using Microsoft products, yeah, we still wants to help them to understand their employees' human risk levels better. Okay, so the goal is to let you to connect to existing risk data sources, which you see from the screen. We support that doing the integration with most of the mainstream cybersecurity product that you are using. I believe a well-known, well-planned organization definitely they will have all these at least sevens of security appliances like endpoint security, firewall, IPS, IDS, SIEM tools as well. So you can find all these familiar names. We support doing integration, not limited to Microsoft only. So you will still able to get a full visibility into human risk. Yep. Okay. So if you look at the different risk data sources within your organization, Mimecast can pull in telemetry data or signal from all these areas to help determine how exposed your employees are to risk. So for example, like let's say an employee they runs application that contain malware. Yeah, maybe they don't know. Okay, your antivirus definitely will detect and block it. But at the same time as well, it can also send the signal or telemetry data to Mimecast. So Mimecast will treat this as a risk event to tell you whether the malware was triggered intentionally by the employee or accidentally, or no matter how. This then contribute to the employee risk score. You can see there's a risk score at the middle under the malware exposure category as well. Now imagine, okay, just imagine if let's say we can collect even more signal, even more telemetry data from different aspects from email security or your SIEM, your IAM, your endpoint, your email security, your web security as well from different area. We are able to like for example for IAM we can detect like unusual logging, suspicious credential using. So all these signal that we are collected, we can correlate and able to generate a risk score for each of the employee in the company, right? So based on the scoring, we don't just only tells you to track the risk, okay? We are also take action to empower the uh, empowers your employee as well. Yeah, okay. If someone crosses a certain risk threshold, okay, we can automatically send them a targeted training content based on their risky behavior. Okay, we can also trigger outbound workflow because Mimecast connect tightly with its other products, not just of awareness training or email security that we are offering. For example, based on someone's scoring, we can adjust email security policy using something called adaptive policy as well. So this means that if let's say there is an employee that is high risk or in a critical event, a high criticals, they will be protected by even more stringent secure email gateway rules. Yep. So human risk management platform doesn't only focus on email security, it also integrate with the LP tools like Mimecast Incydr, which is our cover in today's topic. So even insider activity will contribute telemetry data to HRM, giving you a full pictures of how each employee human risk score is. Yep. And these are the example of how the risk score, the dashboard looks like, the UI. Okay, the human risk command center, a centralized dashboard that gives your security team a clear visibility into human risk across the organizations. So to manage human risk effectively at scale, we first need to identify the risk sources, real sources of the risk. Okay, and to do that, we need a complete picture of each individual and also the context in the company. Okay, this means that relying on real security signals and user behavior data, not just assumptions only. Yeah. As mentioned earlier, right? Mimecast HRM, our human risk command center, right? We are using AI-powered human risk scoring. This allows you to see your organization's overall human risk score in real time, and you can compare it with others in the same industry. You can also view each employee individual risk profile to better understanding how their security posture is. The platform also includes a risk analysis page for you that clearly shows that the strength and also the weaknesses for each of the department. So finally, Mimecast provides a built-in risk response engine to help you to take the action. So using automated workflows and intervention to reduce the risk before they become serious problem in your organization, right? And we are also helping the organizations like we have this awareness training call. So based on the risk score, we can schedule, we can send like related video training videos for them so that they will, after they've been through the awareness training itself, it will also contribute to the scoring so they can reduce the risk score in your organization. Okay. So like while Incydr as well, okay, which is we will cover today. Yep. So we can tells you that how internally your employee actually handle the data. So how's the data flow and also the exfiltration. Okay. So let's before we go into deeper, let's see some key factors or the problem statement that the challenges that from Gartners and also Mimecast that they have highlighted towards the data loss problem. So as we understand that there are 60% of end user in mid-sized company admit that they often move workflow to their personal account. Yeah, true, right? In one in three data breaches involve insiders. Yeah. And also the problem like the average cost of just one insider threat incident can cost you like USD dollar 16 millions. Yeah. So, and also 86% of security leaders are worried about their employee may leak data to the generative AI. Okay, so these are the problem statements, and the bigger issue is that we to tell you with all these messages is that data protection is a real challenge that many wish they could ignore. But security teams are already overwhelming. They already see this until like demotivated. Okay, the synergy. And tackling this issue can seem to be complex, even not worth the effort. Okay, but the data tells a different story because data loss is a very common right now, serious, expensive, and also constantly evolving. Even with multiple security tools already in place, they're also having this issue, their headache. That say that we do understand the concerns about team bandwidth are real. That's why our solution is designed to be simple, quick to deploy, and light on the operational load. So as you explore the data protection solution, it is important to know what kinds of risks you are really facing. So today, data exfiltration isn't just about like USB drive, like I copy something up to the USB drive or this. It now also includes the methods like AirDrop, GitHub, Salesforce, and also other cloud services as well. Okay, so these are the tells you the data risk is on the rise. So question you might ask to yourself, how you calculate the potential cost of a data loss incident in your organization. So are there any specific data exfiltration method that you are most worried about and looking to get a visibility on it? Yep. Okay. So this solution is all about surfacing the breach that cover the both risks that you know or even you don't know. You have don't have a visibility about it. Because what I'm going to tell you something powerful is our Mimecast Incydr. So comparing to the traditional style, right? The traditional tools that have tried to tackle this issue, but they usually requires you to make assumption about your data, which is not true. You will need to define exactly what needs to be protected and when. In the end, the approach often falls short, yeah, causing the gap in the visibility and making things become quite complex to manage. Yep. So from what organizations have shared with us, they end up dealing with a lot of false positive, which is many customer they don't want to face it, and the tools that disrupt employee productivity so much they are forced to run in a monitoring mode only. So what we are offer is a full visibility straight out of the box without needing you to set a perfect policy. We helps you to uncover the unknowns and turn them into knowns. So from there, we customize the right response based on the type of the activity happening. Okay. So the model that we adopt is able to map out all the possible risks by focusing on the three key components here. So first thing first, we look at the user behavior and their role in the organization as well, whether they are the contractor, remote worker, internal staff, or teleworkers, right? We observe how they handle the file within the organization, such as whether they are changing the file extension or even content, right? So from their behavior, we can determine the level of risk associated with each of the individual user in the organization. And secondly, we also monitor the movement of the data from source to destination. The reason we do this is to focus on the destination context, to identify exactly where your data ended up, whether is it within your internal domain or any unfamiliar external domain. So this help us clearly shows the data flow and its final destinations. For example, many people today will find out that like many people are familiar with WhatsApp, right? Right, using WhatsApp is for personal and also working at the same time, very convenient, whether with your supplier, your reseller, partners, vendors, or even your colleague. However, when important company information is shared through WhatsApp, right, there is a risk that it may leak out. So potentially leading to serious consequences for the organization. That's why understanding the destination is so important. It helps manage and also reduce the human related risk. Lastly, we also look at the data context, but we don't need you to tell us what the data contain or how serious is it. Instead, by analyzing the data flow, the exfiltration from source to destination, we can determine if the content is sensitive, such as whether is it a mechanical design or PII fields. We are able to understand the data's nature without requiring you to define what's considered critical. But if let's say you already have a tagging, you are using like Microsoft Purview to do the classification with all this, it will also benefit and reach to our findings. Yep. So a couple of examples that I want to show you how does the risk looks like and how we actually show you the identified risk. For example, the movement of confidential file to your personal cloud drive. Yeah, this is a very serious, critical risk. So usually the user, like we targeted sales department, the departing employee who are currently serving notice. Okay, so eventually we will tell you is the data sources to the destination. Start from the Salesforce and then downloaded from Salesforce by who. We actually show you the name here. Let me put up my laser pointer. Okay, so it's showing the what file and also who is the victim. Okay, not victim. Who is the user that actually download the file? And then it had renamed into personal budget, which is doesn't make sense. Okay, and then uploaded to their personal Yahoo Cloud drive. Okay, so this is something that is what we see in the Mimecast Incidr, and we also show you the recommendation so that you can block and sanction uploads for departing employee user group, and then prompt investigation when exfiltration occur as well, and you can escalate it to your manager or even your HR or legal teams, okay, to stop the issue. Or example like unauthorized USB transfer, I believe this is very familiar with many customers that some of the times, right, when we don't know, when we intentionally or accidentally we copy paste into our USB, right? This is also something that we will show you the risk here, and then you are based on our recommendation we provide. You can even establish, let's say you are using CrowdStrike device control. You can even fine tuning your. We give you the recommendation for you to fine tuning your uh, device control policy as well, or even block certain group of user like repeat offenders from the ability to use the mountable media as well. And additional capabilities, right, which is detection of the screen capture as well. Or let's say someone is doing town hall meetings with all this showing the all the company revenues data, right? We actually based on the event to tells you how critical it is and what are the risk indicators that we are capture. Okay, let's say for example the screen is listed as an Apex confidential watermark. It means something that really confidential to the organization, and then we are based on it. If let's say he do the capturing, we will also show here the result. Okay, and the risk like the last one will be like web browser upload of financial data by an executive. This is something also critical as well for web browser uploading to your personal how to say like Google Drive or even your personal OneDrive, all this, right? So it's also something that very serious. So we also provides the recommendation as well. Implement automated alerts for web browser uploads. Yeah, or even use an end user prompt for justification of action. Okay. So security teams often like take a block first approach when responding to the risk. Yeah, I believe many customers also do that as well. But the problem is that this approach can sometimes cause even more risk or even more workload for the team. It pushes the user to find workaround, and sometimes it ends up blocking people who shouldn't be blocked at the first place. Yeah, so causing the difficulties. With Mimecast Incidr, you can respond appropriately, accurately, depending on the type of event, whether it is a simple mistake or a real threat. These include action like correcting minor accident, documenting and investigating actual threats, and blocking unacceptable behaviors from high-risk employee. So user behavior can gradually shift until unsafe practice become normal. So what unique about us is that we develop over 100 micro training videos to help you address low to moderate risk quickly without adding extra workload to your team. So for example, one of our customers, CrowdStrike, CrowdStrike is our customer using Mimecast Incydr. They saw a 13% drop in their personal Google Drive usage and a 36% reduction in low to moderate risk. So all within just 3 months of using Instructor. These micro training lessons are short and relevant, designed to change the behavior and also reduce data loss over the time. And lastly, we know that high and critical risk event definitely needs your immediate attention. Our system also able to alert you in real time, giving you the chance to take fast action. For example, if let's say a sales employee who is a flight risk starts downloading data from your company's Salesforce account onto an unmonitored or unmanaged device, our system will immediately flag the activity. You can then take the necessary step like contain the device, isolating the device, or cutting access to the application. Of course, we also offer real-time blocking for your most high-risk, high-critical user, like staff who are about to leave the company as well. So talking our architectures, right? Our deployment architecture consists of three main components here. We have our agent and also browser extension, okay? And our cloud exfiltration detectors and also integration with your existing technology stack, okay, like SIEM, SOA, EDR, IAM, all this. We are a SaaS-based solutions, cloud native platform, and most of the processing already done in the cloud as well. So when you run an investigation, you are simply just querying our cloud index instead of hitting the endpoint directly. So this is not only lighten the load on your device, but also save a lot of time for you. Our customer tell us that what used to take hours with other tools can now be done in just a second. Okay, and the only thing that we're sitting on-prem in your endpoint is just our single lightweight agent here. So our agent can support Windows, Mac, Linux, and typically we are using like 1%, less than 1% of the CPU usage. We also provide a browser extension to gives you a strong visibility into web activities and enable real-time blocking of Outlook as well. We monitored those popular corporate cloud and business applications like Salesforce, OneDrive, Gmail, using API-based exfiltration detectors, all this. By monitoring the system directly, we can detect data exfiltration regardless of how it happens, whether is it on a corporate laptop or even a personal phone or computer. We understand that our solution cannot work in isolation. That's why we are heavily invested in partnership across the ecosystem with integration to more than 30 technology providers covering SOA, SIEM, PAM, EDR, HR platform like Bamboo HR, ticketing system, and more. So you can share with me. Yeah, you can. Maybe you just want a question to ask. Can you share with me what types of products or tools that are currently in your organization that they are using, which you can integrate with us? Yep. Okay. So we know that you have the option of how you solve these problems. Okay. Oh, so we will show you like how detail behind all these things. Okay. What makes Incidr approach become so unique? We actually deliver the fastest time to value. When we cover endpoint, we cover browsers, extension, the cloud in one single platform. We are actually non-destructive to user. You will be able to test that out. Okay. We surface unknown risks to give them actionable visibility into things that they haven't seen before, and we don't just keep them stuck in an endless loop. We actually help to change the user behavior and prevent the risk to data. And we give a broad range of control to help them respond effectively to the event of all the severity. So, question to yourself: are there one of two of things that most important to you? Okay. And our customer base, okay, these are our customers that currently using trusted by many security leader that they are using Mimecast Incydr like CrowdStrike, all the big name, Okta, Splunk, IBM Security. So even they are a security vendors in the markets, famous, but they are also using our Mimecast Incydr to protect their insider threats. Okay, trusted by all the top brands and also U.S. federal government, FedRAMP authorized as well. Yep. So that's all for my high-level introductions of Mimecast HRM and also the Mimecast Incydr. Thank you very much.